Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Canadian Shield, your source of trust and analysis. My name is Sterling. I'm your host. Foreign Affairs Minister Joly went up on stage today and made a complete disaster and a fiasco of not only herself and the Canadian voting public, but Canada at large. I mean, this is the Foreign Affairs Minister talking like she's in grade 7 and they just want to, talk about the new girl or something like that. Like, I mean, the level of immaturity in her dialogue, the level of tone deaf in her dialogue, the level of out of touch in her dialogue is shocking. Shocking to think that not only is this person an elected member of parliament, but she's a ranking member of parliament, right? The Foreign Affairs Minister it's a fairly prestigious portfolio. Now, before I get into it, I'm going to encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm up against a lot of censorship, so thumbing up and making comments convinces the algorithm that people would like to see this episode. People would like to see this channel. We're going to open with MP Joly giving us a glimpse into the way that she feels about certain segments of society. What I would call a bold-faced example of disdain and dislike.
Yes, Tonda.
Hi, Tana McCharles.
Hi, good to see you.
Good,
only woman asking me questions. That's good.
Good. Only women asking me questions. That's good. Imagine if I put Pierre Poilievre up there and he said, good, only men are asking me questions. That's good. This is supposed to be the Foreign Affairs Minister. I would, at best, you can call that statement on the stage with all the world watching immature. I think that statement precludes her from ever being taken seriously ever again. Now, we're going to hear her talk about all of the things that she's done with her time since Parliament stood up.
This summer, and what I heard a lot is people are very preoccupied with affordability issues. And we know that affordability issues are linked to what's going on in the world. We know we're dealing with 3 wars and lots of tensions, particularly in Asia. And so in that sense, my job as foreign minister is to defend Canada's interests and to bring much more peace and stability to the world. And to that end, this morning I spoke with the new foreign minister of Ukraine and with the chief of staff of President Zelensky. And we spoke about the very important peace formula that Ukrainians have been working on and that we're participating in.
And that's all she said. That's where she left it, that we're participating in. So she brought this up on the tail end of talking about how this isn't somehow having an impact on the daily lives of Canadians. Then she repeated herself in French and never ever revisited the subject. I'm not kidding you. Like, this is a person who thinks that we should be taking her so seriously that we shouldn't interrupt her. That's coming. You can't wrap your mind around the level of immaturity in this statement. First, she says to you that Canadians are preoccupied with the cost of living, and somehow this cost of living is tied to everything but the Liberal Party. It's because of everything except the Liberal Party. The Liberal Party are just, leaves on the wind. They're not responsible for any of it. It's all just some cosmic shift, and the Liberal Party are just happen to be caught in the middle of it. It wasn't their policies. It wasn't their decisions. They couldn't stop the problem, but they're not responsible for the problem. I mean, this is the way that the entire party is talking. And I don't agree with her at all. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. I think that there is plenty of countries that are making lots of rebounds. There's plenty of countries that have made millions and billions of dollars in the time that these liberals have been telling you that it's not their fault. It's years now. But I mean, I don't even know where that sentence is supposed to go, right? You say that you spoke to people who are having preoccupied with the cost of living issues and that it's all about the Ukraine and Asia, and then just said nothing. Amazing. Just amazing. Who votes for these people? Honestly. Now she was asked a question about Israel and the Hamas war. You were never going to believe this answer.
So, first and foremost, our policy has been clear. Since January 8th, I have not accepted any form of arms export permits to be sent to Israel. And so following that, I asked my department to look into any existing permits of arms or parts of arms that could have been sent to Israel. Following that, I suspended this summer around 30 existing permits of Canadian companies, and we're asking questions to these companies. Meanwhile, as for the question regarding General Dynamics, our policy is clear. We will not have any form of arms or parts of arms be sent to Gaza, period. How they're being sent and where they're being sent is irrelevant. And so, therefore, my position is clear, the position of the government is clear, and we're in contact with General Dynamics.
I just don't understand how this person is qualified for her job. You're the Foreign Affairs Minister. You're telling me that you canceled 30 trade agreements? You destroyed 30 trade agreements that Canadian companies held with Israel because you think that you should be picking sides. It's okay for Ukraine to go in and have problems in Kursk, but it's not okay for Israel to defend itself from a hostile event. On top of that, it's not okay for us to make any money off it. We can throw money away in Ukraine because by all accounts they are, well, we know they're not doing well because the Soros guy just had to go over there and fire half the cabinet and shuffle them a whole bunch around. And who does that during a war? Nobody. That's who. I'll tell you that right now. You might remove a general, but you don't remove the people, the ministers in place unless things are not going your way. And then to top it all off, now she's destroyed 30 trade agreements on the tail end of telling you that the whole country is upset about the issues that are happening in Ukraine. And then she says that she's got a phone call into General Dynamics, the 5th largest arms manufacturer on earth. I am certain she will be waiting quite a long time for that return phone call. Probably never going to get a return phone call. These people tell the president of the United States what they're going to do. They're not going to worry about some foreign president, prime minister, or especially not the foreign affairs minister of a flaccid prime minister like Justin Trudeau. The juvenile mentality of that entire answer astounds me, staggers me. I mean, this is the 5th largest arms manufacturer on earth. That's not that's not something that you can that's the amount of money is staggering. Just to think about the amount of money that you would have to be making to be considered that. Canada has never been a huge arms supplier, so those 30 companies should not be voting Liberal, but let's be straightforward, Israel's not going to miss it. And you would think that would be the worst thing that she had said in this press conference. You would be surprised to know that it isn't. She got asked another question, and I'm just going to let you hear the answer for herself.
You know, Mariki, what I heard this summer was Canadians don't want elections. They just want us to do the job. They just want us to govern. And that's what we're doing. We're governing. We're taking tough decisions. Why? Because times are tough. And so, wait, let me finish. I'm speaking.
Oh, excuse me, Your Highness. Let's not interrupt the Foreign Affairs Minister. Oh my goodness gracious. How dare we call her out on her stuff? How dare we say that we don't agree with anything that you just had to say, and for some reason we're going to say it out loud. Imagine how many times this individual interrupts people. She's speaking. Well, pardon me, Your Highness. Pardon me. My goodness gracious, it must be a difficult day for you to go through thinking that you can just walk around saying whatever you want, whenever you want, and no one will dare question you. That's to leave alone the statement that Canadians want you to govern. Canadians want you to call an election if you're so confident. Call an election and we'll see how much the Canadians want you to govern. Because the way where I'm sitting, it seems like you're aware that Canadians do not want you to govern, and you're terrified of the results of an election. Now, here's a real good nugget out of her. I'm just going to I'll just give her all of the mistakes. Just let her have them.
Cost of living is too expensive, that people are frustrated with it. So what do? We do everything to reduce the cost of things and services. So that's why we have dental care. That's why we're working on a Medicare plan. That's why we have also affordable housing. And that's also why we're really working on childcare. These are all things that the government are doing. And good news, we have new people now that will be there to help us to make sure that we have a very strong economy at the same time that the middle class is protected.
So the middle class is the smallest it's ever been since after World War II, when it started to grow into its largest. But you say to me that you're going to increase taxes and spend tax dollars, and somehow that's going to bring prosperity. You're going to spend tax dollars on babysitting, you're going to spend tax dollars on a dental care, and you're going to spend tax dollars on a drug plan that benefits only a very small percentage of the population. Most of the population are not going to feel any benefit from what you've just described at all. The bulk of the population, in fact, like over 85% of it, is not going to in any way, shape, or form benefit from the programs that you guys keep talking about. And everybody's aware of it. It's not like we don't know. It's not like we're sitting at home just because you think that we're not bright enough to grasp it. It doesn't mean that we aren't bright enough to grasp it. We can add up. We know what math looks like. We know what our paycheck is, and we know where its paycheck is going. We get all that. We might not understand the importance of telling men not to interrupt them and all the rest of that, but we do certainly understand the significance of how much money we don't have coming in for all of the hard work we've just put in. We do understand that we don't think the crickets are appetizing, and we certainly don't think that owning nothing is part of the plan. Then you say, don't worry, we got new help. She's referring to Mark Carney, of course. Well, if you need somebody to help you, get out of the way, because we will do it for you. I thought you said that you were the one that was going to do it. I thought you said that you were the one that was capable of handling it. But now you're bringing in people. Now you're bringing in people that don't even have to be scrutinized for their conflict of interests. There's a lot of inconsistency in what you have to say there, Foreign Minister Joly. Just kind of wish you would make sense of it. Before I let you hear the last of this, what can only be considered a joke, I want all of you to remember that this individual will be dealing with the diplomats from China, Iran, Iraq, Russia, Ukraine, Saudi Arabia, Sweden, Australia. Think about the fact that this is our highest ranking diplomat and that she has enough authority to cancel trade agreements. I mean, who's going to take us seriously?
Yeah. Well, I said, I know Mark Carney. I've known him for some time now, and we had a good conversation yesterday. I think it's good news that he's going to be there to help us with economic issues. We're working on making sure that we get the confidence of electors. I'm convinced we will win.
I'm convinced we will win, and we're going to get the confidence of electors. I thought you already had the confidence of electors. I thought you said that the country didn't want an election. If they don't want an election, what do you need their confidence for? Or if you're convinced that they just want you to govern, what do you need their confidence for? So we see now that there's a more inconsistency in your statements. It's almost like you're gaslighting us, but when you let your guard down, when you speak off the cuff, the truth comes out, because you're not necessarily memorized your lines strong enough. I am convinced we will win means you should call an election. Call one right now. Let's see if you're going to win. Because I'm convinced that Canadians and the world does not take you seriously. All right, I'm going to wrap here. I want to thank you all for listening. I would appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this channel with all of your socials. I'll talk to you next time.